CityBattle Virtual Earth is a game where you play as a robot character of your choosing and compete in 5v5s in various game modes. The game itself is pretty straightforward, and the simplicity of the game modes and maps creates a canvas for certain playstyles. Just like, say, TF2. Very simple game mode, very simple map, and a variety of simple classes, amazing game. Except this one throws in a few Overwatch type game mechanics and even some mechanics you would find in a MOBA such as Dota or LoL because of the slow time to kill. Before I criticize it, I want to talk about what I like about the game. The thing that really surprised me is that the graphics are really good, and the game is decently optimized too. It's rare to come across an indie game that has both of those two features. Either it looks terrible and runs decent, or vice versa. Of course, there are exceptions, and this is one of them. The controls and aiming feel nice and responsive, and the gameplay was enjoyable. I did like that it had a simplistic TF2 feel, but a ton of classes that changed up the way you play. The thing that really caught my eye was the upgrade system. From the outside, this thing looks really complex. This can either be a good or a bad thing, and it really depends on what type of games you like, but for me this is a huge plus. The only thing I don't like is, for each upgrade there's really no downside to it. If there was a downside for the perks and stats you could choose, you could customize your character to your liking without being overpowered to new players. But all in all, I really like how intricate the system is. Of course, I haven't played near enough to unlock all of it, but that's kind of the point. These types of features are what keep me hooked on a game. So, like all games, especially indie games, there are flaws in this one. There's one thing that the game does really well: tell you where to go and where things are. Whether it be with the HUD or the narrator, which, no offense, I recommend you turn off.
Point B is active. Come on.
It does a great job in making sure you always know where to go and where your enemies are. But in doing this, it loses a bunch of its simplicity and creates visual clutter. All of the UI elements, along with the occasional explosion of special abilities, sometimes clutters the screen up really badly, making it almost hard to look at. A solution to this problem might be as simple as being able to increase your FOV. You'd be able to see much more, and everything wouldn't feel so zoomed in. Also, I know this isn't a hardcore or ultra-realistic FPS or anything, but I'm not all that into being able to see your enemies through walls. If you always know where to look, it kind of takes the excitement out of aiming. You won't really be able to pull off a flick, or be surprised by the enemy, or even hide, because you and the enemy already know where each other are. After looking back at the footage while editing, I do realize that the outline fades away over time, but still, it kind of takes away one of the key aspects of an FPS. Another thing is that the game sometimes really gets confusing, and it doesn't really convey what should be happening very well. Of course, I didn't play for a very long time, and this is just a first look, so maybe if I played it a little more I would completely understand, but overall it's not the greatest experience to jump right into. To be fair, a lot of games aren't easy to hop into either, so it's not really a major problem compared to a lot of the other games out there, but it's always nice when developers make it a little easier to understand for newer players. Also, the Power Station mode has a cool concept, and I enjoyed it quite a bit, but it's got a bit of a flaw in my opinion. It's basically just a go to the other side of the map and destroy the enemy's core type of game mode, and the thing that makes it interesting is that there are capture points, and whoever captures them will send AIs called destroyers after the enemy team's core. There are also AI turrets in each of the bases, but the AIs and turrets have so much health. Almost half the time you're just pouring bullets into an AI that's tanking all of them while they destroy your core. It's anything but exciting to say the least. Did someone just call Power Station boring?
Please, no.
Maybe a real gamer should show you how it's done. A turret. This should be a piece of cake. Take this! Your shields can't protect you. Huh? I'm running low on ammo. If that number hits 0, no, it'll be game over. I just need to hit the R key. Come on. Hurry. Yes. Yeah, that's about as exciting as it gets fighting AI. To sum this review up, I do recommend the game. It's a good twist on the class-based shooter, and it pretty much takes the aspects of a MOBA and puts it into an FPS. There will be a link in the description where you can download the game for free, and I do recommend you check it out. That'll be it for this video. I put a lot of time and work into this one, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you like the content and you want to support the channel, there are two things you could do. One would be subscribe, and the other would be thumbs upping my Steam review. It'll be linked in the description, and it really increases the likelihood of someone else finding the video if you do, so it's much appreciated. Also, my Ring of Elysium video is almost at 5,000 views, and I just passed 300 subscribers, and I want to thank everyone who decided to subscribe. I really appreciate all of you, and I hope to have a lot more content coming out in the future. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.